We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no parties. We do not run for office. We do not sell influence. We exist where power lies to itself and assumes no one is watching. And tonight we are watching very closely. Because once again, Donald Trump showed the world exactly who he is when he loses control of the narrative. Donald Trump is without question the most predictable man in modern politics. You can set your watch by his behavior. Mock him in public, embarrass him on a big stage. Let culture laugh instead of fear him, and he will not sleep. He will spiral. He will rage post in the middle of the night like a man trapped alone with his own reflection. The Grammy Awards were supposed to be about music, about artists, about celebration. Instead, they became something far more dangerous to Trump. A reminder that he no longer owns the room, the culture, or the conversation. Trevor Noah hosting the Grammys and openly announcing it was his last time. Did what comedians are supposed to do. He went all in. He told jokes that cut. He told jokes that landed because they were rooted in truth. While presenting Song of the Year, he congratulated Billie Eilish and joked that winning a Grammy is something every artist wants almost as much as Donald Trump wants Greenland.
Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland.
A reference to Trump's very real, very absurd obsession with buying another country. The audience laughed, and then Noah went further. He said it made sense because Epstein's island is gone, so Trump needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton.
Which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, oh, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it?
That joke didn't just land. It detonated. Because somewhere Donald Trump was watching, and he was furious. At 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, while most of the country slept, Trump was wide awake, glued to his phone, rage boiling. He did what he always does when laughter pierces his ego. He posted, and posted, and posted. He called the Grammy Awards the worst and virtually unwatchable. He lashed out at CBS, claiming they were lucky to no longer have that garbage on their airwaves. He sneered at Trevor Noah, pretending not to know who he was, comparing him to Jimmy Kimmel, whining about ratings like a failed network executive who still believes numbers can bully reality into submission. But the core of the meltdown wasn't ratings. It wasn't CBS. It wasn't even comedy. It was panic. Trump zeroed in on the Epstein joke, loudly denying it, insisting it was false and defamatory. He claimed he had never been to Epstein Island, never been anywhere close to it, and that until that very night, he had never even been accused of being there, not even by what he always calls the fake news media. He called Trevor Noah a total loser, demanded he get his facts straight fast, and threatened legal action, promising to send his lawyers to sue Noah for plenty of dollars. And then came the ending, the part that made people stop and stare. Get ready, Noah. I'm going to have some fun with you. At 1 in the morning, over an Epstein joke. That sentence alone tells you everything you need to know about Donald Trump's mental state. This was not strength. This was not confidence. This was a man unraveling because comedy stripped away the illusion of power he clings to. And here's the hypocrisy Trump doesn't want anyone talking about. For years, he and his movement screamed about free speech, about cancel culture, about comedians being silenced, about the so-called woke left-killing comedy. Trump styled himself as the defender of edgy humor, the protector of people saying whatever they want without consequences, until someone joked about him. Now suddenly comedy needs to be punished. Now suddenly jokes deserve lawsuits. Now suddenly a comedian doing his job at an awards show should be threatened by a former president who can't sleep because his ego is bruised. Free speech for Trump, legal threats for everyone else. And let's be very clear, if Trump actually followed through on that lawsuit, it would be catastrophic for him. Lawsuits mean discovery. Discovery means depositions. Depositions mean sworn testimony. And sworn testimony means lawyers asking very uncomfortable questions under oath with real consequences for lying. Questions about Jeffrey Epstein. Questions about Trump's documented social relationship with him. Questions about why Trump once called Epstein a terrific guy and openly talked about his taste for young women. Questions about newly resurfaced Epstein files, including sworn affidavits alleging horrific abuse. Allegations are allegations, but courts do not accept caps lock denials at 1 in the morning as evidence. Trump knows this. That's why the lawsuit threat is noise. It's intimidation. It's bluster. It's the same tactic he has used his entire life. Threaten, distract, delay, never testify if you can avoid it. But Trump wasn't alone in this meltdown. MAGA followed him straight off the cliff. Trevor Noah didn't just mock Trump. He mocked the absurd ecosystem around him, including the painfully forced relationship between Trump and Nicki Minaj, now paraded as a mega cultural shield. Noah joked that Minaj wasn't at the Grammys because she was still at the White House with Trump discussing very important issues, then slipped into an impression of Trump bragging about having the biggest behind, exposing Trump's endless need to dominate even imaginary competitions. The joke worked because it exposed something real. Trump's relationships are transactional, awkward, and desperate. He clings to celebrities to borrow relevance, then parades them like proof he still matters. MAGA exploded. The White House communications director rushed to social media, calling Trevor Noah a giant loser, claiming he was kicked off The Daily Show and replaced by even bigger snowflakes. The irony was stunning. A government official publicly melting down over a joke, accusing others of being snowflakes, while actively proving the joke hurt. Trump advisor Alex Bruzovitz piled on, calling Noah talentless, declaring the Grammys irrelevant, and insisting Nicki Minaj was more successful than anyone in the room. Then he contradicted himself by obsessively posting about ratings, jokes, and perceived slights, revealing just how closely they were all watching. When someone says something doesn't matter but can't stop talking about it, it matters more than anything. They claimed the Grammys were dying. They blamed politics. They blamed Trevor Noah. They blamed low IQ hosts. They hurled insults in every direction, hoping something would stick. Meanwhile, Trump's own approval ratings continue to collapse. His legal problems multiply. His relevance erodes, and culture keeps moving forward without him. What truly broke Trump wasn't just Trevor Noah. It was the chorus. Bad Bunny stood on that stage and said, "ICE out. We're not savages. We're not animals. We are humans, and we are Americans." Billie Eilish spoke about hope, about fighting back, about speaking up about how voices matter. Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber wore ice-out pins in plain sight. Artist after artist used their moment not to flatter power, but to confront it. Trump saw all of it. And it crushed him, because Trump can handle criticism from politicians. He can handle journalists, but he cannot handle culture rejecting him. When musicians, comedians, and artists stop fearing him and start laughing at him, he loses the one thing he depends on: intimidation. What he got instead was ridicule, and ridicule followed him into the night, into his phone, into his 1 a.m. posts, into his threats, into his sleeplessness. Trump wants to be feared, but what he is becoming is mocked. And mocked men with fragile egos do reckless things. They lash out. They threaten. They escalate. They confuse noise for power. This was not a bad night. This was exposure. A former president awake at 1 a.m, raging about a comedian threatening lawsuits over jokes, while artists speak about humanity and dignity on a global stage. That contrast says everything. This is not leadership. This is decay. So don't dismiss this as petty drama. Pay attention. Share this. Talk about it. Support artists, journalists, and voices who refuse to bow. Culture matters. Comedy matters. Speaking up matters. We are anonymous. We are watching the meltdowns they hope you ignore. If you're listening, keep listening. If you're watching, don't look away.